everybody, it's me, Nikki, and welcome back to my channel. I thought I would talk to you a little bit about wigs. For example, what kind of wig should you get, where should you buy them, what to look for, and what to do with them once you get them. I figured we would cover pretty much most of the stuff in those topics to help you in your wig purchasing process. Now, wigs, they can be a lot of fun. They're fashionable, they're stylish, and the trend is increasing in popularity, both with celebrities and regular people alike. And I know it can be a little scary at first. I know it was for me. So I'm hoping I can maybe ease that scariness a little bit by telling you kind of what to do, or to watch out for, I should say. So, you're thinking of getting a wig. Well, congratulations. Like I said, they're fun and fashionable. You probably won't regret it once you do get one, because you can do a lot with them. I mean, people wear them for different reasons. I mean, whether it be for medical purposes, for fashion, or just to let your own hair heal in the process. So, regardless of the reason, getting a wig shouldn't really be all that scary. Now, I know that there's quite a few different kinds of wigs out there. For example, there's human hair, synthetic, and then the blended, which of course would be human and synthetic mixed. Now, human hair, of course, it's real hair, so it's going to be the most natural and realistic looking. But with that comes a hefty price tag. If you really truly want to bang for your buck, synthetic is actually the way to go. In fact, that's really all I buy. So pretty much what I'm going to be talking to you about is synthetic wigs. Now, I know what you might be thinking. The word synthetic means fake. And why would you want to put something fake on your head and wear it out in public? Well, to be honest with you, wigs have come a long way in their process and how they're made. In fact, nowadays, most synthetic wigs both look and feel just like real human hair, and most people really can't tell the difference. So, there's really nothing really wrong with it. In fact, that's all I buy. Now, when you're thinking about a wig, there's lots of other questions you're going to think about. Well, what kind should I get? You decided on whether you want synthetic or natural, but there's still more to decide with that. There's full cap wigs, lace front wigs, and they even go where it's full lace wigs. Now, full lace wigs, I'm not really going to get into much detail about because I don't usually buy them because, like I said, with human hair, full lace wigs tend to be a lot more expensive. So really the two most common ones are going to be the regular basic wig cap and the lace front wigs. Now, the difference between the two is regular full cap wigs, you just basically put them on your head and you're out to go. Now, the problem with those is they don't blend with your regular hair naturally, and it doesn't really set right on your head. So it's a little bit harder to conceal the fact that it's a wig you're wearing. Now, there's ways around that with styling and things like that, but it is a little bit more tricky. I'm not saying that a full cap wig isn't bad or anything. I have quite a few of them myself. But since I don't really know how to do all that fun styling stuff to make them look more realistic, those are the ones I wear a hat with. So that's one way to go ahead and conceal that hairline and everything. Now with lace front wigs, basically the hair from the wig is actually sewn into the lace. So when you put it on your head and it lays flat against your head, it gives the the appearance that the hair is actually growing out of your scalp. So of course this is more realistic looking, and it also blends better with your human hair, your actual hair. So it's a little bit more easier to trick the people that it's a wig. Now with those though, they can be a little bit more expensive, but I don't really want to get into that too much because price point is a little bit tricky. Because, I mean, you got different companies and things like that, and also the quality. So really, they can vary in price. But I will tell you that for a good synthetic wig, the average is between $20 and $60. Now, they can be less than that or more expensive than that, but that is the average. Now, once you decide what kind you want, you got to figure out where you're going to go to get it, right? Well, I mean, there are some boutique stores that sell wigs where you can at least go and try them on, but those are hard to find. Most people nowadays, of course, rely on the internet for their purchasing needs. And the internet is just full of stores that sell wigs. Now, because there's so many, I can't really get into detail as to which ones are reputable and which ones aren't, but I can kind of tell you a little bit about like where to go and what to avoid. I would definitely avoid Facebook ads. The wigs that they show on there do not actually belong to the company themselves. They're imposters, really. They basically take a very high-end wig company and show their wigs in the ad, but in turn what you're getting is something totally different. So I would definitely avoid Facebook. Now with other stores online, I'll just name a few that I know that are pretty reputable. There's glamourtrust.com, AliExpress, wigtypes.com, and then there's my favorite, Amazon. I said on Amazon. You would be surprised what kind of selection Amazon has for wigs. Now, if you're thinking that you want some specific company or something like that, like, I'm just going to throw a name out there, like Bobby Boss, for example, which, of course, is a very reputable high-end wig company. Well, you'd be surprised. Type in Bobby Boss on Amazon, and they've got a few choices. So you do have much wider selection when it comes to that store. Now, when you're looking at an online store, there's some things that you really, really, truly need to pay attention to. Number one would be the photos. A picture can tell 1,000 words. Now, sometimes they will show like a famous person or a model or something, and styling like that, and that's supposed to be what the wig looks like. But it's their actual hair, it's not the wig itself. Now, that's fine if they show that, as long as they also include photos of the actual wig itself. You want to see the wig you're buying. Take a look at it. Does the texture look like something you're looking for? The color, things like that. And the shine. How does the shine look? Because, let's face it, if it's blinding you with shininess, the quality isn't that good. Now, wigs, depending upon the texture, should have some natural shine to it because, let's face it, healthy human hair has some shine. So you just want to keep an eye out for that. Does it look real, basically? You also want to take a look at the description. Read it very carefully. What is it made out of? What's the construction, basically, inside? Does it have straps and combs and things like that? Does it explain how you take care of it with washing and things like that too? And is it heat resistant? Now, heat resistant is actually a very important thing when it comes to synthetic wigs, because once you get your wig, chances are you're going to have to do a little bit of finessing with it, which usually, consists of like a heating rod or curling iron or something along those lines, which of course have heat. So you want to make sure that it's some type of heat resistance. So look for that. You also really want to pay attention to the reviews, the comments that people are saying about the wig. I mean, no, don't get me wrong. I mean, not every wig is going to have rave reviews. Somebody's going to have a problem. I mean, there could be a bad wig in the bunch that somebody got. It just happens. But are the reviews and comments consistent? Look for the consistency. I mean, are people saying the exact same thing about the wig as far as the defect is concerned? Then that's when you know that it's something with the quality of that particular wig and not just somebody got a bad wig in the bunch. So pay attention to those. And then you also want to make sure, like I said, with that price. Is the price around the right amount for what you're looking for? So remember that range I told you about. That's really important. So you got the wig that you picked out. You think you got it all perfect. You put it in your cart, you pay for it, and you wait for it to get there to you. So once it gets to you, like I said, you're probably going to have to do some tweaking to it. Now, one thing that's a most common tweak is to bring down the shine. Remember that shine that I told you about? Let's say the photo that you looked at was perfect. It had just the right amount of shine that you were looking for. But then when you get the wig, it's blinding you. It looks like something you would wear only on October 31st. Now, that just could have been because of the lighting from the photos. It's not necessarily a deal breaker. There are ways that you can tone down that shine. One, you could use baby powder, or two, you can use dry shampoo. Now, with baby powder, the only problem with that is it can be a little bit messy, and then your wig is smelling like a baby's bottom. With dry shampoo, you can have that problem too, except that they also make it an aerosol spray. That's a little bit easier to use. So just use the powder or the spray, and that should bring it down. But make sure that you brush it out, because unfortunately both baby powder and dry shampoo will leave some type of residue. So just make sure you get that out. Your wig is also going to have a little bit of shedding. Don't worry about that. That's pretty much normal. Just, you don't want all the hair to fall out, of course, but minimal shedding is normal. The other most common thing is the hairline and the parting. Now let's pay more attention to the parting first. See how I have a part here? Now, before you put your wig on, you're going to want to have your hair tied up and pinned down and put as close to your scalp as possible and flat as possible. And then you're going to want to put on a wig cap. Now with wig caps, they come in different styles and colors. I typically like to use the nylon kind. And you want to use the kind that most resembles your skin tone. Now, even though it may resemble your skin tone, it's still going to be somewhat translucent. And if you have dark hair like me, it's going to be shown through that wig cap. So, when you put your wig cap on and the wig on, you're probably going to have something showing through that parting there. So what you do is just put some concealer or powder foundation along the parting here to blend that in with your natural skin tone. Another problem with the parting is a lot of times it needs to be plucked with tweezers because it'll have the parting just a little bit too close together. Well, you don't want a narrow parting. I mean, that just doesn't look very natural unless, of course, the style you have is supposed to be like that. But if it's something like what I'm wearing right now, it shouldn't be bunched up. So what you want to do is take the tweezers and pluck some hairs out to widen that parting space up. Or make it longer. But remember, you don't want to go any further back than the lace goes. And then be careful when you're plucking too, so that way you don't rip the lace. But you don't have to worry too much about that. They're pretty durable when it comes to tweezers. The other part you want to think about is the rest of your hairline. Now, as you can see here, I actually have some of my own natural hair coming through here. And that's just to blend it in to make it look more natural. But unfortunately, it's a little thick. Normally, they can be thick. You can see there. Now, I didn't pluck this one yet. But whose hair, when you pull it back, is that thick? So you can go ahead and use your tweezers and pluck along that hairline too to thin it out. But really, this is just personal preference. I mean, it depends on if you're going to be pulling your hair back at all. If you're not, don't worry about it too much. Another thing is a lot of wigs will say that they are glueless. Well, that can be true. But depending upon the shape and size of your head, a lot of times glueless isn't really glueless. You're going to probably need to use some type of adhesive to hold the wig down in place. Now, there's a few things you can use. You can use wig tape, wig glue, spirit gum, or got to be glued, which is actually a very strong hair gel. But if you're using anything other than tape, what you want to do is put it on clean, dry skin. It's very important that it's clean and dry. And you want to put a layer or two on and then let it dry a little bit. Enough to where it has kind of like a sticky, tacky feeling to it. Once you feel that, then you want to go ahead and take the wig and just lay it down right where it's supposed to lay. You don't want to be pulling on it or anything like that, because that's just going to be uncomfortable and it's not going to be natural, and it could also ruin the wig itself. And you want to just put that where the lace is. That's another important thing. I'm sorry, I forgot to mention. It's just where the lace is. Now, of course, you're going to need to cut that lace too. That's basically, I should have said that first. That's the first thing you're going to want to do, is cut the lace. Now, you just cut the lace along the hairline as close as possible. It's actually really easy. The other thing too is storage. Where are you going to put it after you wear it? Well, there's a few different things you can do. The best way is to put it on a wig stand of some type. I mean, they have different plastic ones or a styrofoam head. Any of those is just fine. And the reason why that's best is because then the hair can lay in its natural position. But if you're like me and end up having like a larger collection, then you're going to have a problem when it comes to space. So just make sure you have the space for those. Otherwise, the next best option is to place it back in the bag that it originally came in. So I suggest that you actually keep those bags, even if you plan on using wig stands, just because you never know. And if you're in a tight spot and you run out of room, or you're going to travel, something like that, then you want to put it back in the bag. And then, of course, no matter what method you use, you want to make sure you keep it in a dry, cool location. If it's too hot and humid, then it can make the hair kind of frizzy and it doesn't look really pretty. And of course, you want it dry, because otherwise it can get all moldy and icky, and that's gross too. So those are pretty much the main things that I kind of wanted to discuss with you. I do recommend watching some other videos that might go into further detail about specific things that you might be wanting to know. Like, for instance, the hair texture and color that you should go with. Now, personally, I feel any color and texture is fine, but not everybody is that way. They sometimes do recommend that you get certain colors or textures that are suitable for you. And there's videos that discuss that, different ways for caring for your wig once you get it. And maybe sometimes there's some videos that might mention specific places that they recommend that you go to, other than what I may have mentioned. One series that I definitely recommend you watch if you want to know a little bit more about certain topics with wig care or buying would be Tia Maria's channel. She has a Wigs 101 series that is phenomenal, and she basically covers quite a lot of specific topics when it comes to wigs. But if there's something possibly that you want to know a little bit more detail about that you'd like to ask me, please comment below. I'd be happy to answer whatever I can for you. But again, I just kind of wanted to give you just a quick little synopsis of little basics on buying and caring for your wig to maybe help you ease with the process. Because like I said, the very first wig you get, sometimes it can be scary. You may have gotten the wrong one or something like that. So it's a learning process. And I just kind of wanted to pass along what I know to maybe help you along as well. And of course, please like and subscribe. I basically like to do wig reviews on my collection and new ones that I purchase. And hopefully that might help you along the way when you're thinking about a wig to buy as well. So I hope you enjoyed this. Again, if you have any questions or comments, please be respectful. And I hope I was able to be of some help with your buying needs. Now, just one thing I want to put on an end note for you all is that just because your hair might be fake doesn't mean you are. Enjoy your wig. Wear it with pride, have fun with it, and be yourself. That's the most important thing. I hope you enjoyed, and I look forward to seeing everybody again soon. Thanks for watching.